Elon Musk just dumped all over us. Apparently, Tesla just dumped 75% of their Bitcoin. And to be honest, this was to be expected. They were holding so much of their assets in Bitcoin. Bitcoin was going down only. The public has fallen out of love with Bitcoin en masse. And that is, of course, a reason why people might start downgrading Tesla's own stock performance based on Bitcoin. We all know all they care about is their stock price. It's what gotten them to this point. It's what's gotten them to this point, and what has completely allowed them to have this wild amount of capital to, innovate within the EV space and the electric battery space. That's not the point. The point is that everyone's freaking out right now about Elon selling his Bitcoin. If you're trading based on this right now, you're trading based on very, very silly data. What you should be asking yourself is why Tesla sold their Bitcoin and why they're deleveraging, why Apple stopped hiring, why Facebook stopped hiring, why every tech stock is down only, why every risk asset is in Goblin Town. If you can't zoom out and you think that it's just only a certain percentage down that Bitcoin needs to go before it bounces back up and goes full parabolic again, then you're just missing the forest through the trees here. Take a second, zoom out, and understand macroeconomics for a second. Right now, people are screaming macro is boring, that it's only like the middle IQ, sort of small brains are doing macro analysis right now. Guys, everything was fine. Everything was up only until the Fed rugged. Everything went up only and went crazy parabolic after the Fed started injecting crazy money into the economy. Those pivots are so clear as day. And what you need to understand is there's another pivot coming again. And when that pivot happens, everyone's going to make giga money again. But if you are trying to fight the Fed, you're going to end up bloodied to a pulp. Tesla knows better. Apple knows better. All these companies are playing it cautiously until smoother seas arrive. And all I believe anyone needs to do right now is simplify their life, take a step back, let the noise die down, and sit on your hands and be patient. Work on creating value for everyone around you. Work on creating value as a human in the world with your efforts. And don't worry so much about riding these asset markets right now, but just keep learning, because there will be a pivot, and the projects that have been shipping and have been growing and have been developing over the time where things were bad will be the fastest horses to take off when things get good again. I see a lot of people so many people have screamed that I got it wrong because I've been bearish, when I've said on every video there's going to be vicious bear market rallies. Don't short, because you'll probably get stopped out on these bear market rallies. So no, everyone knows that there was going to be a rally. Like I said, Crown's been getting it bang on. He called this move up towards 25. Wifey Alpha called the move to 25. I retweeted a tweet on the 15th of July saying the trap is set for the bear market rally. And that's exactly what's going on. Remember, institutional traders and institutional buyers are still looking to dump their bags on all of you. So if you're feeling FOMO right now, I believe you're in the trap. More importantly, you don't need to be like playing this like a Twitch reflex sort of quick sport video game. This isn't 2021 mega bull run where everything's happening 10 million times a second and you need to constantly be getting in and out of positions every day. No, what you need to be doing is planning long-term for the long-term pivot in monetary conditions. It's coming, and it'll happen to risk assets in the stock market, in the NASDAQ, in crypto. It's coming for every single asset market. And what you need to know is once they pivot, it'll be phenomenal for crypto because they need to devalue the dollar. The dollar getting too strong is going to wrecking ball every single global economy and our domestic economy. We need trading partners. We need our domestic economy to be strong. So to be very clear, this is super, super inconsequential and just more proof of what every single piece of data has been trying to tell you. And maybe people are just trying to outsmart the market and outsmart the obvious data, trying to think too many steps ahead. Yes, you should be thinking ahead. Yes, you shouldn't get overly emotional. But the market's giving you very clear data that we're only partway into a recession, that we still haven't seen the Fed blink or at all care about crashing the markets and sending them to Goblin Town. And once we start seeing the Fed blink or start at least having some semblance of a pivot in the near future, we can start talking about where to allocate. But for right now, if you're doing anything more than very slow DCA into Bitcoin, Ethereum, or your very favorite coin that you're sure is going to have a very, very spectacular comeback, obviously I have my favorites, but I'm not talking about those right now, not until I see the pivot. as always, to me, Bitcoin and Ethereum and really strong coins will make their comebacks. But right now, we have not seen any evidence that there is a catalyst to clean up this mess. I hope that it comes during election season. That's to be determined. Again, somewhere in September, I would like to see a nice pivot. So that would be a really interesting time. However, I just want to be clear. Elon selling his Bitcoin changes nothing. It just affirms the obvious trend that we've been seeing play out here over the last few months. And it affirms my conviction that this is a very clear bear market rally. I will say that some people have said this hurts the narrative more. Of course it does. Of course it does. Elon's so influential, right? Tesla's so influential. Anything he does is going to cause an effect. I don't think it changes anything about the macro money flows, though. People who are going to sell have already sold. People who are planning to buy aren't going to not buy because Elon sold or Tesla sold. It does hurt the corporate adoption narrative. It does hurt the corporate adoption meme, but it doesn't change anything because once the dollar starts being weakened, Bitcoin will react. Remember, though, that Michael Saylor and the corporate adoption, corporate hedging meme, corporate treasury management meme was a big part of the rise of 2021. So again, doesn't really matter, affirms everything, and to me spells out that this is so obviously a bear market rally. I did make it clear that bear market rallies are part of the game, and just don't get chopped up. You don't need to get emotional. You don't need to go all in. And if you do start buying, understand you should be planning to buy over the next 6, 12, 24 months in linear fashion, so that diversifies your risk, right? Risk management is the name of the game right now. Survival is the name of the game. So I'm just trying not to lose my dry powder right now on these emotional runs. Once we see the earnings season come in and we see the real sort of depths of how bad this recession is going to get, that's when I'm going to start getting excited. I'll let you guys know very clearly when I do that. Of course, I have a huge video. I just want to let everyone know I have a absolutely huge video coming out tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow, it'll be the next day. But this is going to be recapping every mistake I made and some staggering losses that I incurred during the 2021 run. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because I attach learnings to each and every loss, and I categorically have improved my trading based on these losses, and I will be using each and every one of these lessons to ensure that I don't sustain the same losses on the coming cycle. And so I'm so excited for this, because to me, looking back at your mistakes, at the pain and the biggest errors you made are always the best way to learn. I did the same thing looking at the 2018 collapse, and that's why I've been probably more cautious than most people would have expected me to be during this collapse in the altcoin space. And that's why I protected myself from so many of these continued losses. It's because of the pain I suffered in 2018. It's because of how bad it was for me in 2018. That's why I knew how things could get here in 2022. Again, I experienced a ton of loss during the bull run itself as well. And so I'll be talking about that in depth. I hope you guys are excited for this, because the amount of money I left on the table and the amount of drawdown from my all-time high is staggering. Certainly more money than I ever thought I'd make in my lifetime. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you guys are excited for, essentially a confirmation of this trend, and you think that this Bitcoin, this Tesla news is pretty much a nothing burger, but it does confirm what we already know, which is that don't fight the Fed, wait for the pivot, and effectively just don't be a hero here, because the reality is that even if 1 or 2 people can catch the knife and trade towards the top and take profits, 99.9% of you will get absolutely wrecked doing that. So I'm very confident that even if the sport can be played, it's like, the people who ride those beaver suits and skydive through tunnels and stuff. Sure, some people can fly with a piece of fabric, but most people are going to go splat and die. And I don't want that for you. So please be careful. Understand surviving is thriving. The next cycle will be easy. I believe. Just layer into Bitcoin and Ethereum long-term, wait for the macro Fed pivot, and enjoy, because these assets are the future. I can't wait for it. It's going to be super exciting. I plan to make so much money on this next cycle, and it requires patience and it requires discipline right now. Otherwise, you're not going to be there, and you're just not going to have the excess powder that you really wished you did to go into the projects that are clearly the ones to own on the next cycle. The obvious good part of the game is coming up, and if you're excited and you enjoy the value of these videos, you feel like they've given you value, then please smash that like button and subscribe, because we're going to be keeping, at least I'm going to be sharing with you my opinion, which is all this is, my opinion, but I feel very strongly that the best buys are coming up. And again, I'm targeting low teens. So I hope this message finds you well. As always, I'm Elio Trades. You can find me on Twitter at Elio Trades, and I'll see you very soon on the next episode.